So what you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, is what the Israelis are really saying. So they tell you one thing, they tell the Western press one thing in English, but when they speak in Hebrew, they have a totally different thing what they're saying. So there's like, it's like, you know how the mafia has two sets of books, and there's the one you show the IRS, and then there's the real book. So that this is kind of what Israelis do, the Zionists do. They have the fake a message that they give to Western media, and then they talk the real message, what they're really saying. They say, no, so let's go to Glenn Greenwald. He says, if you want to know what Israel is and who Israeli leaders really are, just listen to what they say in Hebrew. On Israeli media, when they don't have to pretend to soften their language to deceive the American and European sensibility, this is who we are. First of all, here we have Glenn Greenwald, the archetype of a self-hating Jew. Anyway, let's go.
Okay.
Go ahead and play it, Steph, and you read it.
All right, here we go. I believe in the value of revenge. The enemy also believes in the value of revenge. And I'm telling you, if the enemy heard this, as I told the chief of staff at the beginning of the war, I told him, I want you to avenge the blood of the murdered loved ones, of my murdered loved ones. He tells me I don't know such a value. I told him that's the problem. That's the problem. We're dealing with a cruel enemy, a murderer, with a soft Western language in a soft Western language. You won't be able to vanquish a cruel guerrilla force. We can vanquish them exactly in their own way. That's why it's not just a word. You know why? My photos are shown at Hamas demonstrations around the world. Why unphotoshopped photos of me are there? Because I say to attack them without mercy. And here I turn to the people, stop being afraid of headlines, and stop being afraid to talk about revenge, and stop talking, blot out the memory of Amalek. This is my moral command. This is my code of values. This is my heritage. And this is how you defeat Hamas. There's no other way. By the way, Iran believes in revenge. By the way, Hezbollah believes in revenge. By the way, Palestinian Islamic Jihad believes in revenge. By the way, the Houthis believe in revenge. By the way, very, very specific groups with Lebanon also believe in revenge. A vengeful God, I believe that too.
A vengeful God. I mean, so these people are just like, oh yeah, so God is very much like Satan. He's very much like the worst person you know in the world. He's all about revenge. I thought the Bible preached against revenge. When maybe that's the New Testament. I don't know. Maybe I'm not too familiar with the Old Testament. I'm with the New Testament. But that sounds like a weird God. My God is a vengeful God. Oh, okay. Well, your God sounds like an asshole. He sounds like why do you need God to tell you to go be vengeful? You're already vengeful. Well, so these are people just using God to justify the worst evil you could possibly think of. But now what I want you to do is play it with the sound on and just listen to what it sounds like. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
אני מאמינה בערך של נקמה, גם האויב מאמין בערך של נקמה. ואני אומרת לך שאם האויב היה שומע את זה, כמו שאמרתי לרמטכ"ל בתחילת המלחמה, אמרתי לו, אני רוצה שתנקמו את דם הנרצחים שלי. אבל אני לא מכיר ערך כזה, אמרתי לו, זאת הבעיה. זאת הבעיה, אנחנו מתייחסים לאויב אכזרי מרצח בשפה מערבית מלטפת. בשפה מערבית מלטפת לא תצליחי להכניע גורם גרילה אכזרי. אנחנו יכולים להכניע אותו, בדיוק בדרך שלו. לכן זאת לא רק לא מילה. את יודעת למה תמונות שלי נמצאות בהפגנות חמאס בעולם? התמונות הלא מרוטשות שלי נמצאות שם, כי אני אומרת, to attack them without mercy. ופה אני פונה לעם. תפסיקו לפחד מכותרות, ותפסיקו לפחד מלדבר על נקמה, ותפסיקו לדבר מחות תמחה את זכר עמלק. זה צו המצפון שלי, זה צו הערכים שלי, זאת המורשת שלי, וככה מכניעים את חמאס. לא בשום דרך אחרת. אגב, איראן מאמינה בנקמה. אגב, חיזבאללה מאמין בנקמה. אגב, ג'יהאד איסלאמי פלסטיני מאמין בנקמה. אגב, חות'ים מאמינים בנקמה. אגב, גם קבוצות מאוד מאוד מסוימות בתוך לבנון מאמינות בנקמה. אל נקמות השם, גם אני מאמין בנקמה.
Boy, that is just, wow, the dulcet tones of a Zionist maniac saying that God demands revenge. God is very bloodthirsty. Boy, that God in the Old Testament, real piece of shit. Am I wrong?
Oh, boy.
Wow, that's something. I like how Solidus says, sounds like she was asking, what would Jesus do? That's, by the way, you know what she sounded like? That's what Steph sounds like after Kurt leaves the toilet seat up. Anyway.
That's true.
Wish I was kidding.
Yeah.
Wish I was kidding. So that's what they really say in Hebrew. When you're not listening, you know, when they're speaking in English, they're like, the Palestinian people are not our enemies. We are not. We care about journalists. We care about medical workers. But when there it is. That's what they. And if you go to the next slide, Sam Husseini says, yes, but Imperial Israel wants far worse than revenge. That's a cover. So what he's saying is that even that woman is still hiding their real agenda, because their real agenda is the Greater Israel Project and the complete ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Palestinians. So they're just using, so just like Benjamin Netanyahu is using October 7th and the hostages as a pretext to go in and do what they've always been planning to do, which is wipe out the Gazans, the Palestinians, take over Gaza, the West Bank, not Syria. By the way, they're still occupying Syria. They're occupying Israel. That's part of the Greater Israel Project. So I think that's what Sam Husseini is referring to, the Imperial Israel. Imperial, meaning that they're going to occupy other people's lands and steal it from them while committing genocide and slaughter. So the thing about, we're just doing this for revenge on October 7th. No, this has been your plan all along. You're just using revenge as a cover. So if you go to the next slide, so this is another perfect example of this. So in English, Israel calls, remember when they just bombed the hospital? We covered it yesterday. Israel bombed a hospital in South Gaza. I think probably the last hospital around in Gaza. They bombed all the other ones to flatten them. So they bombed the hospital. And then when the emergency workers came to help the people who were bombed, they bombed the emergency workers. That's called the double tap. It's one of the worst things you could do. Look how so this guy catches it. Look how it was reported in English in the West. And so if you go to the next slide, it said IDF admits mistaken attack on hospitals killing journalists. Oh, it was a mistake. But look how they report it. Look how they report it in the Jewish newspapers. Our forces operated at Nasser Hospital, which became a terrorist headquarters. In the past 24 hours, the level of fighting in the Gaza Strip has increased, and a targeted attack was carried out on the Nasser Hospital complex in Khan Yunis. So they admit it. So in their own newspapers, they admit that they were targeting.
Yes.
Go to the next slide. Go to the next slide. They admitted that they were targeting the hospital. But when they speak to the West in English, they're like, oh, whoops, sorry, we didn't mean it. We're not at war with the hospital workers or journalists. Of course they are. They target it, especially journalists. They target journalists on purpose. And in our next segment, I'm going to show you that they admit it. They admit it in Hebrew on their own live television shows. So we're going to show you that. But there you are. That was nice job of Glenn tweeting that out and making me aware of it. And yeah, so you see the difference, right? So Zionism requires, to be a Zionist requires nonstop lying. Because if you told people what you actually thought and what your actual mission was, what your goals were, the world would not be on your, well, the world's not on their side, but it would be even harder for you to do your horrible evil, put it that way. And the great antidote to evil is comedy. And I'll see you this weekend doing my comedy in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. Then I'll be in Chicago. Then I'll be in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We'll be in Louisville. We'll be in Appleton, Wisconsin. We'll also be in Hermosa Beach. We'll be in Sacramento, San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Come see me on tour in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, Appleton, Wisconsin, Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago, Louisville, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.